You're probably sitting here wondering, Jay, why do you look like an evil supervillain's cunty little henchman?
Huh?
A moment for the fit. And the answer is, it's because I'm going to the Getty right now. I'm taking myself on a little date, going to the Getty, and we're going to the Queer Lens exhibit. So I'm sure I will find something fun and weird and funky to talk about. Like, I don't know, but I'm sure I will. So anyways, gotta get fitted up for the gays and the days. And here's my dog. Unfortunately, Buddy Boy is not coming to the Getty with me, but we are so fitted up and so ready, and come with me to look at amazing queer history, because where would we be without the people that trailblazed for us? There we go. Okay, I'm currently on the side of the road right now, because apparently I needed reservations, which is honestly dumb because this is a museum and it's free, and when have you ever needed a reservation for a museum? Honestly, probably always. So I'm trying to do that right now, and I'll see you inside. Okay, so I just got back from the Queer Lens and $3 bill exhibit at the Getty Center, and I was going to make this video be comical and funny and, like, I don't know, film the different pieces and, like, come up with, like, their coming out stories and stuff like that, and just, like, make whimsy out of this whole experience. But honestly, it was super enlightening and one of the most beautiful displays of human life I have gotten to see in a very long time. It was really, really beautiful, and honestly, I've just been thinking about what it means to be queer, and, like, gay being the word that it is and also meaning happiness is the most spot-on definition of a word I have ever seen in its duality. I think that there is so much love and appreciation and passion that pours out of queer bodies and queer experiences, as hard as individuals had to fight and will continue to fight for rights of various groups within this community. I think seeing pure happiness, bliss, love, adoration on display in the way that it was truly just such a beautiful, beautiful experience for me. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about my reasons why I love being gay. Number one, obviously, is to push the gay agenda on people.
Yeah, I'm coming out. Yeah, I'm coming out. I'm gonna come out. Yeah, I'm coming out.
If you know me, you know I love to just... The other side is gonna love this. I love to push my agenda on others. I think it's really cool to be able to share culture and just life with others. I think that there's a nuanced experience to every single queer individual's experience that like nobody else will or be able to understand to a full extent, and that's what's so beautiful about this group of individuals and how we're able to come together despite being similar in some regards but being totally different in other regards, and come together and share these experiences, share awesome, fun, amazing things. The next reason I love being gay, I would say, is probably because I get to go to cool ass things like this. Like, obviously, if I wasn't gay, I could still come, but there is just so much meaning behind each and every one of the pieces I saw in there. People understanding their intersectionalities and where being queer falls in line with, you know, their ethnic background or if they have disabilities, things of that nature, and where being queer and how that's a culmination of so many good things and also so many hardships, and like how that can create such beautifully unique human beings, and being able to share that in spaces like these, and like even having moments where everybody can celebrate queer culture is a beautiful thing. I think you know, there's a lot during Pride Month where every business is putting out their rainbow collections and things of that nature, and that is very much so performative. And it's not often you get to see such real pieces of life displayed, in such an eloquent way, and that's what I've been able to do here. My next favorite reason that I like to be gay is that I get to express myself in so many different ways. I wore a youth school uniform for a solid 4 years. You know, Catholic school baddies unite. The Catholic school is a queer pipeline. It's just undeniable. But for a very long time, I didn't get to express myself. I didn't realize that I liked women until the 8th grade, and then right after that, I was in my school uniform until I was 18 years old, and it wasn't often I got to express how I felt through clothing. And not that I wouldn't be able to do this if I identified another way, but I think the fact that how I dress can be an indication of what I stand for, who I love, and all those things is really, really beautiful. And specifically being able to dress in a way I want to, and being lucky enough to be in a city that is so accepting. I'm from LA, so you see people of all different shapes and sizes, all sorts of walks of life, and I think the fact that I've been able to grow up here and like see all these different sorts of people has really helped me propel my understanding of what it's like to feel free to express myself. I think if I grew up in a rural area or just like a different place in general, it would have been a little bit more of a learning curve to understand like that all these things that society has told us have genders and meanings really don't. Right now, not that this matters, but right now I'm wearing my top and my pants are from the men's section of Zoomies, and I'm wearing a beautiful white skirt over that. And I think that truly says something about the way in which individuals are able to just wear what they want, and be proud of it, and like have that be a part of their identity. It was really pivotal for me when I realized that how I was showing up in the world was a way in which others could get to know me. It was a little look into my brain and my life and all of the wonderful things about me, and I think that's another reason why I love being gay. The next reason I love being gay is because there are so many ways to connect with others. You know, everybody hears about, you know, your first woman-loving woman experience, the heartbreak it brings, how it shatters you to pieces. And I will say, my first experience is what brought me some of my closest friends to this date. My best friend Zoe was there from the beginning of that time in my life when I was 16 years old all the way to the end of it, where I was literally felt like banging my head against the wall for months and months and months over a girl that, you know, didn't necessarily care as much about me as I did about her, and that is no shame on her, but just the fact that there are some experiences that other people will never get to know, and the fact that I am able to make friends and meet people in almost every space I know that is queer, and we get to talk about all the fun things that maybe others wouldn't necessarily understand. It's a beautiful thing, and like, I was lucky enough to understand, who I was relatively early on in my life, and I've been able to like grow and thrive within that and like help others understand themselves and their journey and the beauty of being queer, what it looks like. I mean, when I was in treatment, I met a plethora of really amazing people, and amongst them was a great friend, Miss Chili, who realized she liked women while she was in treatment. And let me tell you, I pulled out a crazy slideshow about lesbianism 101 for her. Chili, if you're seeing this, I will show you that presentation one day. I've yet to show her, but just the fact that I can create an entire slideshow about queer media, some of the best movies, shows that center individuals that love other individuals of the same gender, or express their gender identity different ways, trans folks, all sorts of things. That's the only reason I love to be queer. I think my next reason, we'll stick on the friends front. Yeah, I've made some really, really, really great friends. Where that is our point of connection. My lovely roommate Julia, I love them down. One of the people that helped save me from myself at my lowest, and I think simply the fact that we both like women was like a great starting point to our friendship. Our dorm room door said, "Homo sweet homo." I'll put a photo here. And I think there's just so many bases of friendship that come from an understanding that maybe other people don't have. And I'm really, really lucky to be surrounded by so many individuals who can share these talks and these feelings and these things with me. Let's see. The next reason I love being gay, honestly, the media. The media is great. In my senior year of high school, I was in a gender studies class with my incredible teacher, Dr. Crooks, who I love dearly, and every Friday we had something called Fry Gay, where we watched queer media for the entire class period, and it was one of my favorite things. And it was something I had hoped to bring to college, and while I didn't get to yet, I'm still hoping to do that with my college friend group. There are so many pieces of incredible queer media, whether it's historical, fictional, just honestly all of it. Like, everybody loves RuPaul's Drag Race. That is the tip of the iceberg, you guys. It goes so far deep, and it's honestly so beautiful. I think some of my favorite movies feature queer characters, and there's some absolutely iconic ones, like But I'm a Cheerleader. Debs is great. That's a short film. It's peak cinema, honestly. I'm trying to think of other ones. My First Summer is a great one. The Incredibly True Story of Two Girls in Love, also one of my favorites. If we go to TV shows, The 100 is good. I will always stand Clark and Lexa. That show I watched my freshman year of high school with both of my parents, and I wasn't out to them yet. And I was just so enthralled by the love that these two women had for each other, and I would just sit at the TV screen and stare, and I couldn't turn to my mom and dad and be like, "Oh my god, you see that? They're so in love." But that was like one of the first really big pieces of representation I'd ever seen, like, once I realized that I liked women. And yeah, that's a great show. Killing Eve, also amazing. A League of Their Own, great, also incredible. There are so many songs also. Like, we have not the rise, but I would say the reemergence of queer pop and what that looks like. There have been queer artists forever, literally forever. Ma Rainey, like, incredible music from decades and decades and decades ago, and it brings us all the way up to modern pop stars like Chaperone, Billie Eilish, Girl in Red, all of your iconic things where you're like, hey, do you listen to Girl in Red? Yes. We like girls. Um, so many great songs and pieces of media that I am able to relate to on a whole different level that I didn't know I could. One of my favorites is Silk Chiffon by Muna, which the music video is actually based off, but I'm a cheerleader. Tidbit, that was in our Gay experience. Let's see. I think for a very long time, I grew up I still do, am in very, very predominantly white spaces. And in those spaces, I was constantly seeking out people that I could relate to. Unfortunately, in those spaces, there are not a lot of people that look like me, being black or honestly just a person of color in general. So I drifted towards a lot of individuals who also did like women who were queer. And I think for a long time I divided those two sectors of my life, not necessarily understanding that like there are people that are like rolled up in one like me. And in a lot of like the dynamics I had felt like I was missing like bits and pieces of like what people understand about me and what they don't, simply because like there are not a lot of people that I have in my life that share being a person of color or just being black, and also being queer, and like the intersection of those two identities. And it was really difficult for me, honestly, to realize that queer culture isn't just white gay people. That is a very specific and also nuanced section of the queer world, which is equally as beautiful, but it's also not who I am. A lot of the pieces of media I just listed do fall within that umbrella, which is beautiful, and also the fact that there are people that look different from that, and that there is history and culture and like completely separate identities that embody other aspects. And being able to come to an event like this, I got to see that. I got to see it for all of its beauty. I got to see individuals of color, folks of color fighting for rights, rights that their white counterparts would have far, far, far beyond before that they did. And the fact that I'm very recently coming to terms with the fact that there is culture and beauty and a deeper understanding in all of the identities I embody. And I'm really, really starting to enjoy all the sides of me. And it's really cool to see other people, whether that be in real life or on the internet, also embrace their identities, no matter what those be or what the combination of those are. Yeah, so that's something I've really, really enjoyed this past little bit of time. And I think, obviously, to top off, my favorite thing about being gay has got to be the love that I have for my girlfriend. It's annoying because I sit here and I literally feel like I'm smiling like a doofus, like talking about her. But it's honestly one of the most beautiful things I've ever gotten to experience in my entire life. There is so much vulnerability, and we are just so rich in love. It's really incomparable to anything I've ever experienced in my life before, and I hope that this is the last and only love that I truly do experience, because it is beautiful. And I think meeting my girlfriend is something that helped me realize that you can be a person of color and you can be queer. You can have all these sets of cultures and understandings from different perspectives, and like that's something that's super beautiful. And like they've really helped me understand who I am as a person, and also like how I function in this world, how I want to show up, how I want to show up with them, how we can show up as a collective unit and also separately. This girl is my wife. Like everybody's invited to the wedding. Give us 10 years and it'll be great. It'll be grand. And I'm black, I'm gay, I'm non-binary, and I'm happy as fuck these days. It's really, really beautiful. Hi, this is Editing J. I'm still black, I'm still gay, I'm still non-binary, but quote, happy as fuck these days was a bit of an overstatement. We're working on it. And I'm very incredibly lucky to live in a lifetime where I get to experience things like this, where I get to witness history that was literally just a couple of years ago, and history that is continuing to happen today. I'm allowed to be a part of movements and changes that span across the world, and that affect countless individuals. And while the United States is going through some things right now regarding individuals' rights and all that has to do politically and how our livelihoods are deeply affected, the fact that there are still people speaking up, the fact that we have not gone into hiding, I think is the most beautiful thing. There's a Mitski quote that, of course, pulling out Mitski. There's a Mitski quote that goes, "I used to rebel by destroying myself, but now the greatest way to rebel is self-preservation." And I think that is a quote that is true of many people, but I think is one that is most true of the queer community. We are not individuals who back down. We are not individuals that give up what we fight for. This is our life. This is our livelihood. This is how we make do in this crazy, crazy world, how we make sense of all of the feelings we have. And I'm excited for life. I'm excited to immerse myself in art and culture, history. I'm excited to just be me and literally frolic. Like, all I want to do is be gay, happy, and black. Like, that is all, truly all I've wished for. Yeah. As many people might know, I'm trying to get back into poetry, which has been really, really difficult to get back into. I haven't performed a poem in over a year. The last thing I did was my graduation speech of high school, and I'm going to my sophomore year of college now, so it has, in fact, been a minute. But I'm feeling deeply inspired right now, so I am going to write a poem really quick. It'll take 15 minutes tops, and you guys can hear some of my raw thoughts to finish out this video, because why not? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, before I get to the poem, I just wanted to say that I thought of a couple of other pieces of media that don't necessarily center white individuals, that I really, really enjoyed. The first one is Pariah, which is a phenomenal film, and to close off this video, I'm gonna quote something from that film. It's also a quote that sits on my mirror. My mirror is filled with quotes that really speak to me, and so I'm gonna share that with you guys at the end of this video. Also, a great one is Paris is Burning. That's a documentary centered in New York. It is one of my favorite documentaries. I saw it in my gender studies class in college this past semester, actually. Super great, and I highly recommend. And right here, I'm going to put in some of my favorite pieces of art I saw inside. It's all photography. It was so beautiful and very moving. So I'm gonna insert some of those photos so you guys can check out what I saw. And now I'm going to read this poem I wrote in the past 10 minutes. So don't glaze me too hard on this one, but it is called "To be gay, black, and happy. It is not often I can say that I am all of these things with pride. I look it, sure, but rarely can I feel the intersectionality that courses through my veins. My identity nothing but a foreign object in my body, lost amongst the battle scars on my thighs. To be gay, black, and happy is to be known. It is the blended chalk of every color of the rainbow rubbed into my small hands. It is the pavement that burns beneath feet of two young girls chasing after each other. It is a love story as old as time, but one they'd only seen depicted with the Prince Charming. To be gay, black, and happy is to be distraught in understanding that black women are already seen as masculine, and being masculine despite it. Going against the grain is a beautiful thing when you know who you are. To be gay, black, and happy is to be rhythmic. It is sprawling words across the page and bringing them to life on a stage. It is dancing with the lights turned down low and a tinge of love on our breath. It is to be intertwined with something greater than yourself, something so genuine you realize that you too can just be. There are no rules on how to be. Kimberly Crenshaw said herself that intersectionality is just that, being the most full-fledged version of yourself, embodying every identity under the rainbow and the experiences rolled up into one. It is being somebody that can break the glass ceilings and transcend with grace. To be gay, black, and happy is to be me. It is to breathe passion, lungs that know hardship and still have the capacity to seek love. It is a heart that beats to the rhythm of the wind. It is wild and free. I am wild and free. And to end off this poem with the quote that I had mentioned from that great movie Pariah, I am not running, I am choosing. I am not broken, I am free. Alright. If you're not gay, black, and happy, I don't know what to tell you, because honestly, this is the life. If you're gay, great. If you're black, gay. If you're happy, that comes far and few these days, so extra great. But I'm here to say I'm gay, black, and happy. And it's beautiful. Yeah. Peace out, Girl Scouts. I will see you on the next episode. Peace be with you and with your spirit. And if you're wondering why that is my sign off, it is because I went to Catholic school. And we're out.